I think we're live. No sexy intro, no nothing. I just
No,
raw
I
dogged
think
it.
we're live. That's how every good live stream starts out.
Yeah, I want to know how many live streams. Oh, I think I got an echo. Okay, yeah, we're live. I can hear myself twice. That's always the cue. Wow. Okay, it's been a hot minute since I've been live on the YouTube.com. But man, what a way to come back to live streams with Mr. Tom Lawrence here. That's one
Yeah.
way to do it, dude.
And I'm seeing the same names for my live stream because I sent them all here. We had a special link. It's Lawrence.video/Radal. Where click the link and it'll land you on this live stream.
Yeah, there you go, dude. The special treatment here.
Oh,
Well, awesome.
NVIDIA 5080 view live. Do we have one of those? Is that?
I wish.
Yeah. If you send me one, I'll review it. And right,
Yeah.
Send us each one and we'll compare notes.
Dude, I was surprised. I see like so many people that have them in hand. It's like almost everybody has one. I'm like, I thought NVIDIA was notoriously like stingy with their review samples.
I know, and it seems like that. I kind of want to build a gaming system again, or maybe set mine up so I can game on it again. I realized I looked at the last backup on my gaming system, December of 2023. Womp womp
Dude,
womp.
That's rough,
sad,
man. I wouldn't even. So I'm in the camp to where it's like the stereotypical meme. It's like, you know, you're getting old when like you have more enjoyment buying the games on Steam than you do playing them. So I have like this whole library of Steam games. I'm like, ooh, look at my collection of games that I'm never gonna play. Like that's fun. I'm glad I bought that. That was great. I had a really good time buying that.
I will admit I play some retro games. I have one of the Retroid Pocket. I have the Retroid Pocket 3. The Retroid Pocket 4 just came out, but I don't need to upgrade yet because I'm still just playing Super Mario and Tetris a lot. So I did a run through. I did all the Super Mario 1, 2, 3, the Super Mario World. It was good. It felt good and nostalgic going through all those.
So I've been on nighttime duty with the newborn these days, and sometimes I'll doze off with YouTube running. And you know, that's always fun for all of you out there who have ever fell asleep with your YouTube playing, and you get to wake up to something that YouTube decides that you would want. Yeah. So I woke up to a summoning salt video on the world record of Tetris. And I woke up right at the beginning, and that shit's like almost 2 hours long. I watched the whole thing. I don't even play Tetris. It was so interesting. Like, it was crazy.
It is weird because it screwed up my YouTube watch history. So I'm like, I don't remember watching. Oh, that's right. I fell asleep on the couch and autoplay was on. So it's like,
if I'm watching YouTube downstairs in the living room and I have it playing and I'm about to come up here and go to work or work on YouTube stuff, I have to remember to like stop it downstairs because I'm like, I don't want it to play my videos that I had queued up that I was going to watch because then it messes me all up. Because that's what I watch now. I just watch YouTube. Like that's kind of it. Like Netflix, Hulu. I don't really watch much shows anymore.
No,
but
I like series once in a while I watch, but I don't watch a lot of TV. So
my wife likes TV.
Oh, my wife loves TV. So yeah, my wife's currently obsessed with apparently there's a lot of series of this. It's where they go to zoos and talk about behind the scenes at rescuing the animals at the zoo. So my interaction is every time I come up and see when she's watching, like it's like a zoo reality TV show, like where they're helping a giraffe or something. And sometimes they will pause because they're like, "How do you help a giraffe? That thing's kind of big."
Yeah,
just
yeah. My wife's on maternity leave, so she's been like binging through all of Grey's Anatomy. And I was like, "Oh, what season are you on?" She's like, "Oh, like 7." I'm like, "Oh my God, it must be done soon." She's like, "No, there's like 20 something seasons. It's still going." I'm like, "What? How?" It's insane.
Yeah. My wife likes Criminal Minds. I think she's watched all of it 2 or 3 times. She's just
how do you rewatch that? Doesn't it like
know? You know it's gonna happen.
Yeah. I don't see. I'm big. Like I can't watch a movie twice. I mean, some movies like funny movies or something, but like serious movies like that,
you know what
I can't watch them more than once.
I'm rewatching some movies that maybe from the 90s, but that's because that was a younger version of me.
Yeah.
Well, I just reread Fear and Loathing, for example. Hadn't read that since it came out in the 90s. Okay, Fear and Loathing. Turns out I enjoy it more in my 40s than I did in my 20s.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, let's see. We've got a whole handful of folks here. Probably 99% of y'all came here from Tom Stream, so that's awesome. Welcome to the channel. Um, look, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't have a lot like I don't have this big thing planned. I have some topics, and we'll just like sit here and talk about nerd stuff. I don't have
Yeah.
a plan here.
Docker.
Yeah, I'll let you guys kick it off. I have a couple of things written down, but yeah, my last video that I put out yesterday was Docker Swarm versus Kubernetes, and I that whole experience was not what I expected. I said in the video was that I had only heard like bad things about Docker Swarm ever. Like anytime I talked about like doing high availability stuff or clustering, it was like Kubernetes. You have to get into Kubernetes. If you run a Proxmox, you can do some HA stuff in there, but
Yeah.
your Docker Swarm. And I was like, okay, well, I guess no one uses that. It's okay, whatever. And the only reason I did it was because I had those 5 Raspberry Pis, and I was like, oh, it's cool. I saw a bunch of people using this like AI clustering. I can't remember the name of it. It's like a clustering thing. You can physically cluster your hardware for AI stuff. I was like, oh, it'd be cool to see what a bunch of Pis would do with those AI hats. So I bought those, slapped them on there, got it all running, and then it was like it was just using the CPU on the Raspberry Pi. I'm like, what's going on? Then I looked it up like a dumbass. They don't run LLMs. Like, so I'm just sitting here with this AI cluster that doesn't do what I even wanted it to do. I was like, oh, I got to get some use out of these Pis. So now it's a Swarm cluster because I had already done Kubernetes, and I said in the video, like, it's good. Like once you know how to use it and you've become familiar with it, it's cool. But dude, the last thing I want to do after
for some reason my wife's calling. I'm just gonna mute myself for 1 second. Yes.
Go for it. I was saying the last thing I wanted to do was come home and troubleshoot a Kubernetes cluster. So I tried Docker. I didn't even expect to make a video out of it, but I ended up making a video, and I'm surprised at the reception that people were like, yeah, I love Docker Swarm. It's great. It's simple. I was like, yeah, that's what I thought. It's simple. It's not like as feature rich as K3s or anything. It doesn't come preloaded with like traffic and Longhorn for HA storage. But I mean, it literally, you can spin it up if you have a bunch of nodes with Docker already installed on it. You can spin up a Swarm cluster in like maybe 2 minutes. It's insane.
And I think that's an argument I've had with a lot of people. There's all this excitement because maybe some popular YouTubers suggested you need Kubernetes right now, and by doing that, you get. And I get it. You don't get to run Google without Kubernetes. Like Google, but you're not running Google. You want a couple services to run in your home lab. If you're going to pursue a career in Kubernetes, I think it makes sense to learn it. If you just want to run a few things at a reasonable high availability, I think Docker Swarm is just that much simpler and probably better, because if you've ever gone through updating Kubernetes, well, ask Proton Mail what a 12-hour outage was from.
Was that from the other day?
Yeah, they went went down. I remember reading the debrief on it. It's like, yeah, Kubernetes is hard. Reddit, I remember they were down 18 hours. The whole write up was basically Kubernetes is hard.
Yeah, I mean that's what I got out of because I wanted to get into it because it's something I like to learn things, and just I did it. I got in. I learned what I needed to. It was cool, but now I don't use it in my home lab anymore because like I said in the video, it's just so much that upkeep. And if you're into that and that's something you want to pursue and become an expert on it, cool. I didn't, so I don't use it anymore. It's not that I don't think it's good, but Swarm was just so much easier, man. Like set it up on the 4 nodes. It plays well with Portainer, which Portainer you can hook into your Kubernetes cluster as well, but it plays pretty decently with Portainer, which is what I use for all my Docker, as my Docker orchestrator on everything. There are a couple of little quirks with it, but it's just designed to be simple, and that's what it is. It's not perfect, but it does its job. You can come in here and see your cluster. for some reason, it doesn't like automatically purge services that are like down or failed. Like it just they just hang out in here, which I don't. Maybe there's something I need to adjust, but like let's see, some of these that failed, they won't get out of here. But just some little things like that. It's not really a big deal. I talked about in the video, it's not robust in terms of high availability with built-in HA storage. You can put something on there if you want to use your Ceph cluster, your cluster FS or something. You can do that. But it's not like K3S deploy. It's already got traffic and Longhorn ready to go. But
And
I mean,
I think mounting it on an NFS chair is a reasonable way to do that. You know what I mean? For the lack of complexity, though, is good because then it's easier to troubleshoot. You're like, oh, I just got to restart the service or move the service over here or manually assign who the new, was it the Swarm Master? Is that how they called it?
Manager.
Swarm
nodes,
Manager.
Yeah. Managers and workers. And they, let's see. Yeah, one thing I said in there, like, I didn't know if it did it going in because this was one of those, I said before, like, I didn't even know I was going to do a video on, so I just started, like, messing around with it. And when it started, like, working decently, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I guess I will do a video on it. One thing I didn't know going in was, like, the load balancing. Like, when you take a node down, of course, it moves it to other nodes. But when you bring that node back up, it doesn't automatically redistribute services.
So it doesn't have a rebalancing option.
No. I'm sure some smart person out there has figured out a way to do it. Like it's a one-line thing to redeploy. Oh, it's a word. But whatever, rebalance the service. You can do it with just a one-line command. So I'm sure someone's figured that out. There's an API. I'm sure you can hook into that and do something with it. But it was basically about trying Swarm and being like, hey, is this really as shitty as people say it is? And I'm like, it's not even bad. Like,
no.
So
matter of fact, that's the nice thing is like, you're like, this was so low effort. I didn't think I'd make a video. And next thing you know, oh, this was so easy. I made a video.
Yeah. I was like, it's so easy to have to make a video. Like I was struggling because the portion of the video that was like installing it or getting it up and running was like so short. Cause it's like run one command on one of the nodes that you want to be a master node, then spits out, after you do that, it spits out a command for you to run on all the other nodes. You literally just paste that in to all your other nodes and it's done.
That is beautifully simple.
It's comically easy. Like compared to, I think it took me 3 days to get my first Kubernetes cluster set up. I'm not even exaggerating. I probably have the DMs with Techno Tim because I was like, dude, what? Am I dumb? I know I'm dumb, but like, am I this dumb? Like, why can't I get this working? This is insane. But yeah, I strongly suggest anyone out there who wants to dabble in clustering, try it out. I mean, if anything, if you hate it, it took you probably 5 minutes to get up and running. So you didn't waste any time.
Yeah. I see a few people asking about XCP-ng. I'm a big fan, obviously. People from my channel I see, or people that comment on my channel familiar with it. Proxmox is not a bad system at all. But for some of the enterprise stuff we do, and we've done 2 very large scale projects just in the last month that were, I mean, one project was almost $400,000 worth of stuff that we moved from its VMware migration. It's really cool server setup. This is data center is where it's going. That kind of money. But
talking about Proxmox or
XCP-ng. Yeah,
okay.
we were getting people off VMware.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's the basically the go-to from what I've seen of people who didn't want to get stuck with the new pricing of VMware. So they
didn't want to bend over and take the new pricing.
Yeah, really. You didn't really have an option.
It's only a 4,000% increase in your license fees.
Yeah, I know. At my company, we had already started before all that went down. We had already started migrating a lot of our VMware stuff to Nutanix, and I've never even seen Nutanix. I'm not in that. We're a pretty large company, so when I say I work in IT, I'm not like the IT guy in the company. I am
It's so much more specialized at large enterprises too. So
it's extremely specialized, the group I'm in. So I don't even touch the hypervisors or anything related to that, the infrastructure. I'm in the application support and development group for a specific part of the company. So when I want to request storage, I have to go to a certain group. When I want to request allocate resources, I go to another group. When our Windows servers are down, I go to one. When our Linux servers, it's compared to what I hear a lot of people, especially in the community, are like, yeah, I'm the sysadmin. I do everything like for my company. I'm the guy who goes out and deploys the physical machines. I fix the network. I install the phones. I
unjammed a printer today. Like,
yeah,
it's like that. It sucks sometimes at the smaller scale because you just get to wear 20 hats.
mm-hmm.
Hold on, I'm trying to update a server. Yeah, but my Outlook thing is stuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we used to have a guy like that. It was a couple of years ago. That there, I could tell a zillion stories, but this guy was a trip. Like he had to every morning, he had to have something sprinkled in his coffee because he was crazy. I remember the first day I started work, they were like, "Oh, you got to call so and so to get your computer set up," and I was like, oh, "Okay," and they're like, but everyone starts kind of laughing. I'm like, they're like, "Oh yeah, he's the IT guy," so I'm expecting stereotypical IT guy. This dude comes like sprinting into the room. He's like, "Hey man, you're a new guy. You're a new guy. You need your laptop. Got it right here, dude. Just check it out. We gotta put it up." Boom, 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 boom. I'm like, he's like, "Oh, this isn't working. We gotta go up to my office." And he takes my laptop and he's running. I'm literally like first day, like jogging behind this IT guy. He's standing at the elevator and he's like, "This is taking too long." He goes to the stairs and he's like 3 steps at a time going up. I'm like, what is happening? But that was the guy who like wore all the hats. I'm like, oh my God, this is what IT is like in a big company. No,
No,
the actual IT people hated that guy. So, yeah, but Proxmox, XCP&G, it was right before the big update. What was the 8.0 was the big?
Yeah, just before 8.3 came out, you were playing with it. I
Yeah,
remember
right before that.
Your criticisms on the UI was valid. So the UI is will be the new UI, a modern UI slated later this year. They don't really have an exact, you know how developers are. It's ready when it's ready. It's ready when the bugs are gone.
What is the production like? If you're deploying this for like an enterprise, what's the version that is like the stable version?
8.3. Right, the 8.3 stable now. Yeah, they it was just in time. 8.3 went full, went from release candidate to full, I think 1 week before the client project had to be rolled into the data center. We'd already loaded it with 8.3 because we're like, look, I know it's any day now it's coming out. We just were hoping before it left our lab and went into their data center to get racked, we would switch it. We did. We got it all updated to the latest version, full production release before it went into production. Because the production switchover was during the Christmas downtime, because that was the alignment for the downtime when they could move everything over. And nothing like going to a data center twice when you forget a cable.
Dude, yes.
It's only a 2.5 hour drive. It's fine. It's fine. We'll just go there tomorrow again.
What's the famous tweet or meme I've seen is like people wonder why it was something about like,
oh yeah, why
IT guys are mad because I had to drive 4 hours to turn on a server that 7 different people swore that was already on or something.
Yep.
It's like, yeah,
totally experienced that.
So what?
Yeah.
What? So obviously your company, y'all do a lot of deployments and stuff from like networking, and you were just talking about like deploying a big old XC or XCP&G system for a company. When a company comes to you and asks for like a deployment, what are the things you look for that makes you determine I want to deploy XCP&G or Proxmox or something else, or is it just like standard?
We try to standardize as much as possible, as much as reasonable, I should say. Possible's budget problems, but reasonable matches budget problems. A lot XCP&G is what we solidified on. We'll do a little bit of Proxmox support. We find once you start building larger Proxmox clusters, the care and feeding of updates is a little bit more challenging than it is in XCP&G. Plus, when people are installing something at enterprise level, they want full SLA agreements. They want like 4-hour response times. That is all contracted with XCP&G. We're the first line of support for a lot of our clients, but we can also put an SLA agreement on there, so there's guarantees within so many hours the problem will be addressed and backstop. So that's kind of makes it, makes the enterprise people that are dropping $400,000 with you happy that you can sell them a solution like that. Storage wise, even if we're not going hyper converged with XCP&G, we'll do TrueNAS. We love TrueNAS; it works well, and we were doing TrueNAS with VMware for years too. So that's not we're already familiar with TrueNAS, and it works great with VMware. VMware just decided, why not jack up the price 400%?
Why not, dude?
Why not? It's how you make more money. That's what Broadcom.
Yeah, just raise the price.
You just raise the price.
Why doesn't everybody think of that? Genius.
Yeah.
That's because I've always wondered, like, it was funny the first time when I was like started dabbling in the home labbing, and all the forums are like, yeah, use Proxmox. Like, that's good for the home lab. And, it's kind of what I started with. I like it. It's what I use. And then when I started seeing that people were talking about they deploy Proxmox at, job sites for like large customers, I'm like, oh, that is okay. I started like the wheels started turning for why people do like home labbing, because certain things translate to like enterprise level. You can run XCP&G at your house in a small, version of it, and then turn around and have, like you said, a $400,000 deployment.
Yeah, it's always wild to me whether it's TrueNAS, pfSense, Proxmox, or XCP&G. This is something any of you watching this, these are all projects that have free versions available for you to play with. They're not like free, they're open source. They're not like a trial, they work for 14 or 30 days. These are full versions of software that scale to the enterprise level. And I think that's always fascinated me. And especially in the early days, I was an early adopter of Linux, but it makes it kind of cool because you get to run some of these same exact things, maybe just not with as many hard drives or as beefy of hardware. But TrueNAS is one of those things that people don't realize. The movie industry runs on TrueNAS, like an amazing amount of the movies that you have watched at companies you have heard of, like the film production studios, the studios in between. We have a lot of these clients, and when I show like pictures of me setting up those 45 drives XL60s, those are movie industry loves buying those. Those are petabyte each, and they need several of them. We have a company that has 5 of them now.
And that's another thing that's great. I'm sure you see it a lot because you're in the industry, is that it's always crazy to me. Like when I, for example, I have a good friend who's a professional photographer and videographer. And he came to me a couple of years ago and was like, hey man, like I need a new storage set, because he was storing all the stuff on like physical hard drives and putting like a label on them, 20 or 2020, like 2021. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I mean, you definitely need something better than that. And he was like looking up all these these options. I'm trying to remember, they were different things, but he was getting quoted for all these options for getting stuff done. And it was just like so expensive. And I told him, I'm like, dude, for what you need, just buy like a Synology, like, buy an 8-bay Synology, slap a couple of, 12 terabytes in there and call it a day. And he was like, oh, okay, how much does that cost? And I was like, well, the 8 bays like around $1,200. And for drives, you're looking at probably, with a couple of, cold spares, like $2,000, maybe $3,000 total. He's like, that's it? Like, what there's more I got to buy, right? I'm like, no, it's like $5,000. You could have like a nice little system. He's like, yeah, that's crazy. And I'm like, because to me, that's a lot of money. But to him, like the convenience, like the amount they're willing to pay for like convenience, especially because I was like, yeah, it's easy to set up. I'll do it for you in like 30 minutes. Like I can remote in and boop, boop, there's your share. Your network interface is set up with 10 gig, plug it in, you're good to go. And he was like, wow.
That's
It's
something I've
crazy.
recommended to a lot of, if you're like a small photographer studio or something like that, Synology hands down. As much as I'm a big TrueNAS fan, I really recognize like Synology is one of those turnkey, easy, set it and forget it. There's a couple boxes I can check to tell it to auto update so it can be managed. I can set up remote access in case they have a question where I can remote into it,
Mhm.
and life is good.
It's dude, their backup solutions are fantastic. I have been running into for how convenient they are and easy to use. They're not perfect because I feel like their backup solutions are this black box to where if there's like you wouldn't call it a memory leak, but almost like a storage leak where it's filling up and you're like, where the shit like what is using all this space? It's impossible to find.
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh, hyper backup's using it. I'm like, but what? Like I
What
only
is
have
hyper
these 3
backup?
machines and I have 1 replica. Why? What is? And they're like, I don't know, hyper backup.
You
There you go.
can load, and you have to tell it to run as a job, the storage analyzer process, and you tell it to run daily, and then
Mhm.
it creates summaries
Oh yeah.
of that.
I might.
Yeah,
Here, how about we
it's
open my?
obscure.
Oh, I don't. I took my backup offline because it's pissing me off because I just asked my contact technology. I'm like, dude, I need a new backup. Like, y'all want to work on something together? Because I have a little 4-bay one that I brought here to mess with before I send it back out. And it's like, up, not enough storage. I'm like, I'm pretty sure there's enough storage on there. It's like, no, you don't have enough. I'm like, dude, what? How? So let me pull up my
Yeah, I seen
actual.
someone post that Synology's worst feature is its terrible logging. Yes, the logging is garbage in Synology. That
Can you
is,
set like a log server and stuff
and
and
it
do it
doesn't
yourself, or
work. It
oh,
still
it doesn't?
it gives the same stupid error of failed. So it's like,
Oh,
wow, I have no more details about this error. It failed. I knew it failed, but when I turned on extra logging in verbose, it just says failed again.
failed twice. Failed.
Yeah, I
Thank
had
you.
so when rsync had there's been a flaws found in rsync, and the hyper backup, you can
Hmm.
have it talk to a TrueNAS via rsync, which is cool.
Hmm.
So I updated rsync on my TrueNAS. I updated Synology because it said there's an update. And I know part of the update was probably rsync. Some, not all, some of the hyper backups that sync over rsync failed with just failed. Now the
Hmm.
weird part is looking at the files, it actually works. It doesn't fail. So digging around, I never found a solution because the only thing it did is kept telling me it failed. The solution though was if you copy essentially the hyper backup to a new, just like build a new backup with all the same settings, it works. No error. It's going to the same server with the same parameters and the same folder. It just decided, some of them decided to not work, and I'm like, I got nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like some of the things, like it's really convenient. It works when it works, but then when you have to like dig down and figure out why something didn't work, pain in the
It's
ass.
just a mystery.
Yeah. What is there like a
I think it's a package manager called Storage Analyzer. If you go into Package Manager,
what's it called? Storage
yeah, go to
analyzer.
all packages, and type in storage.
This guy.
Yep.
Let's try it
Yeah,
out.
you would think this would be installed by default. Why wouldn't you want Storage
Well,
Analyzer installed?
yeah,
Because
because you
without it, I don't know what the hell all the data is on there, and I
yeah,
didn't
so
know
I'll
this
show you
either.
what I look at when it's like it's comical. Let's see. Okay, that's running. So intuitively, what I would expect someone to go in is like, oh, let's see what my storage is doing. So you go in here, you go to storage manager, and you see storage. You come down here to your volume, you drop it down,
Yep.
and it says, or is it one of these? Usage details. Oh, oh, thank you. Can I have more information on that?
Nope, not without that other
Nope.
tool.
There's your shared folders. There you go.
It's
Wow.
healthy.
What?
Great.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, there's got to be. So
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what
Yeah,
the
you
storage
do have to
analyzer
tell it to
spits
run
out.
as a job, and it'll schedule,
Mhm.
and it really gives you nice reports. I actually found it very useful. I don't remember when I found it. It certainly wasn't when I first started using Synology. I
Yeah.
was in your boat. Matter of fact, I was like, I don't know if you've ever used the command line tool in Linux, NCDU. Um, it'll summarize
Mhm.
folders for you from the command line, and it's like a terminal interface.
Mhm.
That was my solution. Like, how do I get the NCDU binary on my Synology and SSHN? I'm going to solve this problem my way,
Yeah.
which is not the way. Then I found the storage tool. I'm like, oh, look, a tool that does it. And it makes pretty graphs. And it even tells you, like, you have this many JPEGs or this many that. It actually does a nice job. Why it's
That's
not
pretty
installed
cool.
by default, I have no idea. Why would you not
That should
install it?
literally be like a widget.
Yeah,
Like,
it should just be a widget.
yeah, that would be very convenient. Synology, if you're watching, hire us as consultants
Yes.
to give you ideas. I don't want to do any real work. I just want to listen to Tom say good ideas and go, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good idea.
Actually,
I could
I
do
already
that.
consult with Synology.
Yeah. Perfect. I could do
Yeah.
that. That's about it.
I've
Yeah,
had
I
some
mean,
ideas from some ideas they follow through on, some ideas they won't. It's not that they won't listen, it's that the developers don't prioritize it. So the idea I've been telling them for a couple of years to build a backup dashboard a very specific way across multiple Synologies, and they always tell me that is such a great idea. And I was like, it was 2 years ago or 3 years ago when I suggested it too.
yeah.
It's still a great idea. I don't know when you guys are going to make it. So I also like the fact that there's a Jeff Geerling in here. I just want to give him a shout out. I seen you pop up as knock knock earlier.
Yeah. He said the best backup is no backup. So everyone quote that.
Yeah.
Everyone screenshot that, tweet
Yep.
it, put Jeff Geerling on blast, take this completely out of context and run with it. That's no, we're what was I saying? Oh, about storage stuff on the same line as that. I think a lot of companies are, I don't know if starting to catch up is the right terminology, but a lot of companies are putting out some pretty decent off the shelf NAS devices, including
Yes.
their software. A lot of companies have picked up their game. From the last time I used Asustor, theirs has gotten better. The big one was TerraMaster. Theirs was hot garbage, and their new, I think, TOS 5 or 6 or whatever the new one is, actually very usable. Ugreen's surprisingly was pretty solid after their whole weird launch. Theirs is pretty good, but I still think Synology's got everyone beat just because they've been in the game the longest and they're more
They
mature.
have
But
the best software.
yeah,
You can't beat Active Backup for backing up your systems. Like that is
it is
just
crazy convenient.
when you compare it to what the enterprise software that does similar things costs, you're like, yeah, this is really nice. Active Backup, Synology Photos. I know people keep telling me Image is open source, and I know it's becoming popular. I have 95,000 photos in Synology Photo, and it works fine. Like at that scale, I've got because I've always I had a Sony Mavica that had the floppy disk. That's one of the first digital cameras I bought.
Nice.
And that's like in the late 90s. And then I went to the Sony Mavica that burned a mini CD. I have been accumulating digital photos for, I don't know, whatever number of years that is, over 20. It dates me a bit here, but I've always backed them up to whatever the cool thing is. And Synology is that cool thing now for me. And I've consolidated everything there. I've organized everything there. And I'm like, it just works. So it's hard for me to switch to something like Image. As cool as it looks, maybe one day, but today it's still Synology because it just works and it works well. They keep adding new features to it.
Yeah. The only thing I mentioned in my video with Synology versus Ugreen is Synology's hardware in terms of specs is way behind.
Yeah.
Way behind everybody right now. I don't know if they're planning on like a revamp across the board with some of their stuff, but it is so far behind.
They're one of those companies. I think their balance is they use a lot of like some of those Atom processors that are technically kind of the low level server ones. They go for really, really dependable hardware, and I think they make up for it with good software. Versus if you spend more on the hardware, you can actually write crappier software that's not as well optimized. Because despite the specs being low on my Synology in terms of like the CPU benchmarks on one of them, it backs up all my my studio computer and Windows stuff. It runs, I got MB running on it, a few other things. Like it does all those things perfectly fine without any qualms or issues. I also use it as my NVR it's got like object detection on it and all the features. It's even doing time lapses across the cameras. It's so under-spec'd. You wouldn't think it would do that, but it does it fine. So I think that optimization, like writing good software, means you can have lesser hardware. Of course, unless you want to run virtualization, then it just sucks.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, no one cares about the hardware specs if it works, and that's what I got. It's like if you're using it for like just like a storage server, unless you're doing something like crazy on it, 99.9% of people with the specs Synology delivers are fine. Like it's not like you need high-end specs for a storage server. Like you said, if you're doing virtualization on it, sure, but I've yet to see an off-the-shelf NAS operating system that has a decent virtualization manager. Like,
Yeah,
I
even
tried
TrueNAS.
Synology, it wasn't good.
TrueNAS is
What's the
bad.
one? What's the last one I did? The last off-the-shelf was it TerraMaster? No, it was Asystore. Theirs is like PHP version of the Oracle. What's the
VirtualBox one.
VirtualBox? Yeah, it's like a PHP version of that. Some like third-party thing. I'm like, guys, come on, what is this? It's so bad. Like all I wanted to do was install like the litmus test was like, can I get an Ubuntu desktop VM running? Nope. Multiple errors just from the most basic thing. I'm like, okay, I'm not going any further. If I can't just install Ubuntu on it, sorry. That's butt cheeks.
I see a lot of people talking about QNAP. QNAP is
I was going to say
dumpster fire of CVEs.
So I haven't touched QNAP in years. So they were probably one of the first companies to reach out and be like, hey, can we send you something? I was like, yeah. So I did a video. They sent me one of their like desktop, I think it was an NVMe, just like solid state storage little device. So I reviewed it and I was like, oh, this is cool, but I had some issue. I don't even remember what I said. Like, I'm like, this isn't perfect. It's good. It's not perfect. There are a couple of issues. And they just like respond. They're like, here's your labels, send it back. And then just never talk to me again. I'm like, okay. Thanks, I guess. I didn't think I was that critical of it, but never heard from them again. Never tried their stuff.
They reached out to me and I did a video about how bad their security was because some security researchers had reached out to them. They basically like just didn't reply at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then they said, we can't reproduce the bug, and then told the security researchers to go pound salt. So the security researchers started releasing the exploits, which then made QNAP mad, going, hey, wait, you're releasing the exploits. And they're like, well, I thought you said you couldn't get it to work. Like, clearly you seem concerned all of a sudden once I made them public. They just haven't had the best interactions when it comes to security, which is a shame. And unfortunately, as much as I tell people, and I know the more technical people that follow us are not going to expose it to the internet, but the average humans will. And they'll go,
yeah, why wouldn't I? Yeah, I can access this from anywhere. Check the box. Yeah. Cool. Oh, it's going through your servers, your servers and tunneling in. And I don't know how you do that. Doesn't matter.
There was the QLocker ransomware is what it was called. And someone, I mean, they fully automated this. So if you had an unpatched QNAP or you had a QNAP that it took a while to get the patches out there, the QLocker would charge it would lock your stuff, but it would actually contact you and be a reasonable price you could pay to get it unlocked. It was like a few $100. They weren't like these big ransomwares. You're like, we know we know our audience. They bought a QNAP. Yeah. They don't have 10 grand for me, but if they'll give me a couple $100, I'll give them the keys to this lock.
Yeah, just Venmo me anything, dude.
Just Venmo me something, man. It's a couple bucks. It's cool.
That's funny. Said I want my storage on a dedicated storage device. So that's something I kind of had here is that I'm thinking about. So I'm building a new storage server. It's kind of going to be a meme storage server like my last one, but it's gotten me wanting to. I kind of wanted to do it for a while because right now my TrueNAS, my main NAS, is virtualized in Proxmox. And I've been wanting to move it to its own dedicated bare metal system because I hate that when I want to do stuff on my Proxmox host and, I install a new card for something and I got to shut down everything. Yeah. So I'm thinking about using this new system as my bare metal TrueNAS instance, and it's gonna be comical. This is what I'm using for it. It's half meme, half I may actually use this. Or let me see, where's it at? Because this thing is gonna be funny. How do I do this? So in my last video, I used one of these 4-bay U.2.
Those are cool.
5 1/4 inch. So I bought a I bought a. Oh, there it was, right there. Oh, whoops. Where'd it go? I bought this, which has 6 5.25-inch bays on the front, so I could have 6 goofy ass storage expansion things to put in there.
Yeah,
And
I had that same case. That I like that case.
Yeah, it's great. Except
Well,
Newegg
and
sent
one
me
of
the
my
wrong
friends ended
one.
up with it.
Yeah, I bought the 6 one, and they sent me the regular one, which only has 4 of these. So I'm like, I know this is annoying, but you guys sent me a slightly different version. So I got to RMA this giant ass 40-pound case. I tried to contact iStar, be like, hey, can you just send me the bracket? And they never say anything. But anyway, look at this. This is what I'm slapping in there. 24 SATA SSDs. I'm just loading up in there, and it's now that I'm thinking back, I should have just put 2 of these in there for 48 SSDs just for fun. But yeah, I'm putting this in there, and I'm putting 2 of those U.2 ones, and then I think this guy, just a hardware RAID, slap 2 of them in there, and it just does the rating right there on the device. But it's gonna be just a funny, like, full solid state storage device to see what I can do with 24 SSDs. Because why the hell not?
Why not? We got to store their
Yeah.
videos, all of our YouTube videos somewhere.
Yeah, really. So that's gonna be fun. We'll see how that goes.
What's on the back plane? Are you just using an LSI card or?
Yeah, so it's a 24i, which works out perfectly. For those 2 or those 3, this guy, shit. But yeah, the 24 one. And then for those, I had to buy it's a full 16x, breaks it out into 2 8i Oculink to connect to these. So I had to buy another one of those. So I actually had to buy so I bought a motherboard, an Epic system off eBay. Got it. Doesn't work. So I got the wrong case in from Newegg, and I got a motherboard and Epic processor that doesn't work from eBay. So both of those are getting returned. So that's fun. I don't know if that's a sign or anything, but we'll see how this goes. It should be fun. What do I have here? What else here? I gotta check my notes. I know I had something. Oh, another project that should be gaining traction soon is I used to have a cluster in my home lab. It was just a Proxmox 3-node cluster, and it was just constantly like messing up. Like it had to be the super micro boards or something, but they were constantly giving me trouble, so I just got rid of them. So now I want one back again. I kind of miss it. So I'm taking 3 HL4s from 45 drives and clustering those and using that as an opportunity to learn more on Ceph. I know you're talking about on your stream, did like the 2-day Ceph training class. So I'm curious to
using it in Proxmox makes it a lot easier. They did a good job of putting a rational, reasonable UI to do tying them all together for a hyperconverged storage. I think they did a neat job with it, and it works good for the home lab. There's some scalability things you have to consider if you want to use it in a bigger space, but for home lab, it's actually a solid solution. Other than the occasional updates that break things, like we had brought up in mind. So there's processes that should be followed.
Yeah, that's because in my old one, I had it running, the basic like 1-click install. Like, there you go, it's running. Like I don't know how it's running. I don't know, but it's working. And then there was like with the new Proxmox, it went from what is it? Quincy to Reef or something.
Yep.
I can't remember, but
Quincy to Reef. Reef is the latest.
Yeah. And one of the guys in my Discord who's pretty well versed in Ceph was like, "Hey, did you update yet?" I'm like, I am not touching that. It's like, dude, yeah. I mean, if you want to, yeah, like, you just, make sure you set the flags correctly and bring this down and then do this first. And I'm like, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna not touch it. And that was the same thing that happened when I first set up my bare metal K3S cluster. I was like, it's working. I'm a couple of versions behind at this point, but I am not touching that thing. So
I'm working with my friends, so we're repurposing a NetApp to be a storage server. Those are kind of fun. So the NetApp, I think it'll let me. Maybe you have to hit allow.
Yes,
yeah, just throw it in the screen. This is what the NetApp boxes look like, and the disk shelves. Where's this photo? Yeah, they slide out like this.
Oh, that's cool. Oh shit, there's more.
There's more. There's 2 more rows.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
man. Wait. How are those connected? Oh, they go
a ribbon cable underneath.
Oh, that's tight. So what? That's 60.
Cool. Yeah, it holds 60 drives, I believe, and 1 cat.
It comes with a cat.
It comes with a cat.
I like how the NetApp fits the color aesthetic of your channel and your brand.
Yeah, and it's yeah, my friend, he's got his cool setup, and I was like, this is kind of neat. So we've already learned and screwed up a lot of things so far. We've made a lot of mistakes. Nice. I think we're getting 100 IOPS out of it instead of thousands because
100. Nice.
Yeah, so things have gone wrong so far, but that's going to be part of the fun. Me and my friend been hanging out building this thing, and it's just been one of those like experiments of, can we make this all work?
Yeah.
This is what's on the back of it. We're figuring out how the chassis hook up, how it goes into this mess. It's a project.
Dual, it's like high availability, or redundant controllers, right?
No, that's one LSI, and there's 2 bays because you have to. These are the external SAS connectors. So you have to get an LSI card with an external SAS, get the proper connections for it. And by the way, when you reboot this thing, sometimes we have to disconnect it while you reboot the server because then you can hot plug it back in. So,
wow, interesting.
But it's cool when all the lights are blinking and you're testing things. It looks neat, anyways.
It does. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like how they have the drives labeled on here and kind of like in it. I don't know, something reminds me of like the 1980s way they silk screen stuff on old electronics.
Yeah, I was around in the 80s. I remember that. I remember the 80s.
But he's got a lot of cool stuff. I like all the color coding he's got for his cables. I never, people are asking about what these cost. I'm like, turns out the same price. You can buy color coded cables because one goes to each one of his UPSs.
Yeah, that's nice, dude. I half-ass redid my rack, like just cleaned it up a bit, and it still looks like shit. So I need to actually put some effort into it one day.
My new one will look a lot better, but like the ones our lab. This is our lab in our office, and this is where production equipment gets tested, but it's ugly. Like it's just a mess this is our basement at the building. These are super expensive servers, but our cabling is let's just say not pretty.
It's all right. As long as it's a closed in rack where you can just shut the door and no one sees it, then.
Well, no one's allowed in the basement but us, so no clients come down there.
Who cares?
I like if you look a little beyond it, you can kind of see there's there's stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
We just keep building more racks because we have so much old equipment at the building, and we don't. We're like, yeah, it just goes over there.
Yeah, can't throw it out, but it'll look cool in a rack.
Yeah, I could do it. We're maybe a little bit of a hoarder at our primary office. There's some stuff going on down there. We have so much old equipment. We could do our own museum.
There you go, dude. The Tom Lawrence Museum of Servers and Oddities.
What makes these kind of cool though is even though you see there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 servers, there's actually 16 here. So server 1, server 2, each one of these are blades. So there's a top and bottom and side to side.
Yeah.
So they're kind of cool. That makes it's a 20. So that makes this a 16 node cluster right here.
What kind of hardware are you running in that?
These are super micro. Oh God, what's this? I think I have it in the info box. Let me look. Hold on. I have it in the other box. Let me scroll up. Send another picture of it. Oh, I did. When they came out with this, someone made a joke of you can't tell how big it is. So I put a banana on there, and apparently that made the day of the Unify people. They said, "Why'd you put a banana next to our thing?" And I'm like, "Because it's cool."
Is that the E7?
Yeah, that's the new E7.
Yeah.
Oh, this is how big the power supplies are for it. They're longer than my arm.
Nice.
Let me find the model.
It's a thin boy.
Because these are what the little pieces look like. I thought I had the description somewhere in here. Can't find it.
What are you running on it?
This is all running XCP-ng. This is for a client.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is things come by our office. We build them, and oh, there it is. It's a Supermicro 217B. So let me look what that hardware is in that.
So you deploy it, test it out, get everything working, and then ship it to them, or go.
We load it, configure all their stuff on it, make sure all the details are exactly to their spec. So a little page on there. I think these are EPYC processors in these. Why is everything landing on a PDF?
EPYC.
I like that if we go to Google it, me talking about on YouTube comes up higher than the actual. This is my Instagram
page.
It's like Supermicro in my Instagram.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I think.
So we know you're big time, dude.
Yeah, I don't remember the specs on them right now. They're super fancy.
I just snagged, because when I was building the storage server out with all those drives and shit, it's like, I mean, I have to go EPYC. I need the PCIe lanes. And you can't beat EPYC systems if you're looking to add a bunch of storage, especially if you need the PCIe lanes. If you're adding like NVMe, especially.
Oh yeah.
Then like, dude, you can't beat these EPYC. Like you can get a decent Rome CPU motherboard combo for like $600. Like it's crazy. Like the value proposition for EPYC. It's nuts.
Oh yeah, it's wild.
Compared to Xeon.
I think I was looking for one of the pictures I have of one of the other EPYC systems we did, and it's the only thing that had enough PCI lanes to do what we were trying to do because it's an AI server for one of our customers.
Yeah, you need
I take too many
a good bit. I mean, my EPYC system right now is pretty much maxed out in terms of PCIe. Like all the slots are filled. I'm pretty sure I'm using 16 lanes on all of them. I may have a couple left over, but it's I'm using almost every last bit.
Yeah. This is what those loaded up. These things weigh so much once you put everything in there. This is what the loaded up 45 drive servers look like. They're just monsters.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's 1.4 petabytes in this system.
God dang.
And then they back them up to these. These are the 45 terabyte LTO9s.
Oh, cool.
So they have a whole changer we're setting up for them. IBM makes these. So This is the controller, and you load the tapes into this. And this is that's how they back up all that data because they need multiple copies of it.
I guess that's a better value proposition than just buying two systems. One primary, one backup.
They already have 3.
Oh shit! Well, I guess when you're
they're trying to figure out what
big boy.
So this is one of our this is a design and engineering company, and they don't know how long they want to keep the data for. So they once we're done with it, because it's for an older model year, because they're in the vehicle design business. They're like, do we need it? I don't know. We almost never reference it, but in case we do, so they archive all of it. So as they build the new vehicle, they purge the data, archive it on those. It goes into like a safe area, and then they have new data sets again. It's kind of neat seeing how it all goes and whatnot. We're not allowed to film at that particular client at all. So all the filming I have to do, and you probably
I remember you talking to me about this client, something about when they travel, they were like traveling with the storage, like with the server.
Yep, they
or
actually
something.
take some of the. They don't believe in transferring things over the cloud, so stuff has
Yeah,
to get stuff has to
that's
get
funny.
physically stored, and they travel with it.
Yeah,
Oh, this
you
is
gotta get some serious looks through when you go through TSA with a big old server like that.
Yeah, I was filming people that are loading up the servers.
That's got to be oddly satisfying.
It's just they slide in really nice.
Yeah, it's a nice click.
I think it was the first week that these new guys got hired, and they're like, "Go hang out with Tom." And I was like, "I'm supposed to put a bunch of drives in here, so you're going to do it." And they go, "This is so cool." I'm like, "I'm glad you love it."
Now you have to lift it. Good luck.
I said, "Then we have to rack it." Huh?
Yeah, that's got to be a heavy boy.
Yeah. I have all my 45 drives pictures in here too. Yeah, these are like installs we do at the companies.
Yeah.
Building these racks. I did a video about this company. They let me put everything. This is my social media folder, and they let me put everything on social media. We did want to climb in this thing because it seemed like fun. I'll show you the picture. This is a machine that has a conveyor, and it sends these bags through and pounds them. We're like, I bet it could give a good back massage, and we were playing with it.
We had a guy try that once.
Yeah. I was like, but look at it. You could like crack your back or something. They're like looking at me like I'm nuts.
You crack a lot of things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Your back could be one of them.
My favorite part is the bearded guy is my business partner, and he doesn't even turn it off. He just says, "Can I open this?" And before they could say anything, he just opened the box. I like it. It says locked equipment must be locked here prior. So my business partner can be a fun guy to work with because he just he'll ask the question while he's in the act of doing it.
Yeah.
And then
like ask for forgiveness, dude. It's easier than asking permission.
Yeah. And we made some joke about, we posted this in our internal Slack about us being having a corrosive relationship or something. By the way, this is deadly. That is I think sulfuric acid. I forget.
Fun.
Yeah. And we just want to take a selfie by it. And the guy's like, well, it's funny because we were talking to the chemical guy. We said, so could you like do the whole Breaking Bad thing and make Beth? That was like the question he asked to them.
It's like, we can't answer that question.
Actually, the guy took us in good humor because he says, we can make even better meth than Walter. That's what he told us.
Prove it.
And he goes, he said, we could do a better job of hiding the bodies. And he actually walked us out and he goes, that brownfield over there, brownfield is a contaminated area. They said, that's ours. We could bury someone there and no one digs there.
I'd be like, I didn't hear any of this. I'm going to slowly step away.
It was a fun project. It was a fun project because we were actually able to film everything and see all that. We wired the building. We wired all these pumps up. These pump all the acid. There's like all the stuff they have. We do all the networking that goes in the conduits of these. So we ran it because you can't have anything exposed in case chemicals spray. It wouldn't be able to shut the pumps off. So every piece, every wire, every cable is run inside these conduits for the networking. Nothing can be exposed.
Wow.
It's kind of cool though. It's kind of neat stuff.
Yeah.
I learned a lot.
Yeah. Speaking of network, I see all your Unify. And he's gone. They got him, dude. He was talking about too many secrets. The acid got him. Oh, he's back.
Yeah. Well, I hit the back button. I meant to close it and I hit back and it went, let me drop.
I was going to say, you were talking about too many secrets, dude. The acid people came and dragged you out. I was going to say, a lot of Unify stuff there. And I mean, they had so much stuff going on with Unify in the last like year, I guess, since like being part of their creator program and just having more insight onto a lot of their products. They have been ramping it up. Like not just the hardware, the software updates. Like they've been cooking. I'm still waiting. I have a couple of pieces of hardware that I'm going to be doing a video on, but they're still waiting on a few more things before.
I think we have the same thing and we're waiting on the release date because it got changed.
Yeah. I mean, one piece I can talk about is the campus aggregation switch, which that thing's a beast. I have that deployed right now. And there are a couple more pieces that I'm waiting on, but man, that whole like enterprise stack is going to be nutty. Like the campus aggregation and the Fortress Gateway right now is just like nuts, especially with their MC lag and
Yep. They made
their
MC
failover
lag
stuff.
easy.
Yeah. Pick
That's
your
great.
client, press a button right here. That's it.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm here for it, man. That was it's taking them a long time because they dabbled in it before, back when they had the EA store that you had to sign in for. They had one in the EA store that was in the EA store for like ever, and then it just disappeared out of EA. It never made production. And everyone was like, "Oh, that sucks." And I was like, "Well, I guess they're just going to stay out of that space." And now they came back in it, and they're like, "Okay, they got some real products for it."
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And like, it's so hard for me to, because I have to approach this video like, this is not for home labbers. Like, I have a home lab, but it's cool. I just want to show it off because it's of how cool it is. But it's not for home labbers. And I feel like I get into trouble with some of my videos where companies send me things that are outside the realm or outside of the scope of a lot of home labbers. And I'm like, this is cool. I just want to show it off. And people are like, this isn't home. Like, no one can afford this. Why are you showing me? I'm like, I literally say in the video, like, this isn't, I don't recommend this. Like, Solidigm sent me those crazy, insane NVMe drives that are like retail for over 20 grand. I'm like, this is cool, right, guys? They're like,
yeah.
I'm like, guys, like, what do you want me to do? They do you want to? They're like, do you want to see this cool stuff? Do you want to try it out? I'm like, hell yeah! Like, who wouldn't?
Yeah.
It's like, so I got to balance.
It is a balance. I try not to spend too much time. I get excited talking about large scale stuff, but even like the AI server, I did a short video on it. People started asking more questions like, do I do more videos? The server was $130,000. I mean, the client ordered several of them for us. The client thinks $130,000 is reasonable. I don't know if that's a reason. Like, I could do videos on it, but for why? Like, I don't know. It's weird. I mean, I'm thrilled and I'm privileged that I get to play with it. I'm happy that I love what I do for a living, but it's hard to showcase on my channel because I don't know what actionable thing that leads to for people watching the video going, well, cool, Tom, you're doing neat things.
Yeah. It's like, I get it. I mean, it's difficult. And it's like such a stupid, like, privileged thing to be bitching about, but it's just, it's frustrating when you get so excited about something and it's so cool to you and you get to show it to people and they're like, okay, wow. One comment that annoyed the shit out of me was like, what is it? I'm paraphrasing here, but it was something like, great. All of us can't just suck up and get cool hardware. I'm like, bro, I've been doing YouTube videos for 5 years consistently to get to where I'm at, to where a company wants to send me this. If you want to create YouTube videos for 5 years and make no money doing it and spend hours and hours, then go ahead. Like, I'm sorry, but it's, I didn't just wake up one day and go, hey, give me stuff, please. So that was frustrating.
But as someone kind of pointed out in the comments here, what we're doing a video on, if it's some new stuff, in 5 years, our videos will still be up. We won't be thinking about that video, but someone will Google it because they found it on eBay and going, oh, look, this guy talked about it. And now 5-6 years later, it's something I can afford. Those Seagate dual actuator drives, I kind of feel fall in that category. Granted, I'm talking about them now, and someone pointed out when I talked about them in my video, like, well, Tom, those are old. I'm like, well, yeah, they're affordable now. I don't know about old. There's recertified ones that are available, and you can build out a reasonable size storage server with these. Matter of fact, Wendell talked about it too. So, like, great, I can get these recertified from Server Part Deals. Server Part Deals, they give a 2-year warranty. So people are like, but they're recertified. I'm like, yeah, but you get a 2-year warranty. So that's good enough for me, especially at the price point, because they're about less than, I think they're like a quarter of the price what they were original when they came out. And they still sell the drives and they're about half the price of what if you buy a new one. So for half the price, and my reliability, all the stuff I bought from Server Part Deals, I've had no problems at all with them. They have, I had to replace a few of my drives in my production system, And I just went, I'm like, do I buy them? It was the first Discover server part deals. And I think it's been a year and a half since I bought them. And since then, the server part deal drives have held up fine. And a couple more drives have failed. And I just like, I'll keep buying and replace them because why should I go spend $300 to drive when I can spend $129?
Yeah, because they offer their 2-year warranty, and they also do they do actual testing on all the drives before they ship them out. So they're not just like, oh, this just passed a smart test box, it's perfect. But they do like more extensive testing on all their drives, which is cool, especially because you get the benefit of knowing that if you get a drive sent to you and it craps out in a couple of months, you're not shit out of luck. Like if you bought off eBay or something. I know some eBay sellers offer warranties and crap, but it's easy to it's a lot more peace of mind having an actual company backed and doing this for you and offering a warranty and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely recommended. But
yeah, get your deal on
them. You mentioned AI, dude. So that was what do you run like just personally in your home lab or whatever? Do you run an AI setup?
I deleted it. Matt has one set up right now, and at the business we have one. The one at the business is called the Bartender. We named it that because its first purpose was giving it a list of the drinks of all the available things we had and having us make mixed drinks. That was how we tested it. So it's just been called the Bartender. But it's just we had one of the NVIDIA cards and a nice Threadripper system, and we just dedicated it to answering AI queries. I've been running Ollama. I've actually tested Ollama on the smaller models on CPU systems. Not fast, but not unreasonable. Like it was usable. I think it was the Code Llama one I was using because I was having it help me with some bash stuff. I'm like, okay, Code Llama, it's less parameters, it's more reasonable. So that works pretty good. The one I want to build though is I want to go ahead and throw. It's an older card, but there's enough NVRAM in it, and it should do the thing. And I want to build a dedicated system to it because I think it's just kind of cool.
Yeah, it's. So I'm gonna say I didn't go down the rabbit hole. I didn't go too far down the rabbit hole. I stuck my toe in the rabbit hole of setting up these AI servers. So the one I have running at home, it's Ollama and then OpenWebUI slapped on top of it, and it works great. So this system right here.
Yeah, we have the same WebUI that we set on top of it too. Oh, and you got Fabric, because that's right. Because I'm running Fabric as well.
Yeah, I was using that for a while. I got because that's on top of Ollama, right? I can't remember. Or is it its own thing?
It's its own thing, but it can connect to Ollama.
Okay. So this system right here has 2 RTX 4000 ADAs.
Nice.
So those have 20 gigs each. And then I also put in a Tesla T4 with 16 gigs. So I pushed all those through to a single VM that runs my Ollama instance. And what's that, 56 gigs of VRAM in there. So I can load in a decent amount of models. So I started playing with like the bigger ones just to mess around and just see if there's like a difference. Because I use it a lot, say a lot, but like for coding stuff at work. So I loaded in a couple of different like coding specific models. Some were giving me trouble. I can't remember if it was this one or the other one. Like, write me a PowerShell script to move contents of a directory to another, something basic like that. You can see it working in the background. So that's a pretty decent sized model. So it's taken up. Full on taking up everything on one of the 4000s. I guess it didn't, that's all it did? I thought it would spread to the other ones. Oh, there it goes. So yeah, it's not super fast, but for a model this size, it's pretty decent. Yeah. I think you can click on it and it'll tell you like the speed it went at. Because the cool thing with this is like, all right, we get it. You're done. Come on. It's going to tell me all about how it works. That's convenient.
Have you played with any of the Dolphin Mixtral models?
I think I have one of them up here.
Okay. I have
the small one. Yeah, I've messed with a few of them. But yeah, you can look at. I think there's like a summary or something here. It tells you, yeah, total duration, response 13.6 tokens per second, which is like, depending on what you define as usable, I would consider that usable. But you can like switch the model to a smaller one, like Code Llama. It's pretty standard, small one, and then regenerate it. Let's go load that one in.
I just like the unrestricted ones from Dolphin because they will tell you how to hide the body.
Yeah, you can get some weird, like this one will do like, you can load in a picture, image generation one too. So I have that working, and man, there's some weird image generation models out there.
Yes,
for sure. And they all, I mean, from my experience, like unless you really know what you're doing, they kind of suck. So this one's 70 tokens per second. So that was like flying.
they're fun from creating stupid things. Few of my friends are going to a conference and they just kept doing play on words of ideas for the conference that kept getting dumber and dumber. So we kept generating more and more images. And it just, there's nothing quality about it. It just was a bunch of stupidity that we couldn't draw on our own.
It's so I use OpenAI or ChatGPT for pretty much one thing now, and that's for image generation stuff, just like for random stuff on YouTube for my YouTube videos. And like it's so much easier and better than anything you can do locally right now, unless you're like heavy into it and know what you're doing. Like I'd say setting up this little stack right here, OpenWebUI with Ollama, is pretty straightforward. You just find a decent compose file. If you're running it in Docker, it's pretty straightforward. But the image generation stuff, like I messed with it for a while, and it's just like I was never able to get something that was actually usable compared to just going to ChatGPT and asking it to give me an image.
One thing that kind of surprised me was I have somewhere around me, it's over there. We do these Throwback Thursday things, and I have random pieces of old tech. So I had an old Connor IDE hard drive, and I was like, I wonder when this was made. Throw it into Google. I don't know. It's because it didn't have a year on it. I asked it, I put in, when was it? I think it's a 31/4/20 or something like that. So I put into the ChatGPT, was this model released, and put the model name in there. Boom. It gave me the date. It gave me details. It gave me a lot of information. And it's kind of weird because I finally took some of the phrases and realized there's some dude who has like an old basic HTML website, and that's got to be the source of it because it's the only other source I can find for this information. But Google won't yield that anymore. Google just yields eBay results and junk and stuffed hard drive sales, and like the SEO on Google so broken. But it's kind of cool to see that there's still some kind of useful things, especially asking about old technology, because it clearly must have indexed that person's page, because who else keeps like 1990s PDFs of old hard drives besides some random person holding on to some old website, which I was grateful to have on there. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in the camp where so AI, I'd say it's on the downturn in terms of like how polarizing it is. Cause like, I feel like even just a year ago, it's the most polarizing. Like some people loved it and some people hated it. Now I feel like we've kind of mellowed out and people have kind of either, they hated it, but it's like, okay, whatever. Or they really loved it. And it's like, okay, this isn't really the greatest thing since sliced bread. But I don't know. I'm in the camp to where I've never really like, I was never like, oh, this is stupid. AI is dumb. I mean, I've seen the very dumb use cases, and we're nearing.
Not everything needs AI in it. My toaster,
like AI hand warmers, AI toilets, like stuff like that. I get it. That's all marketing. When companies found out they can just slap AI anywhere in their product description, it gets them more clicks and eyes on it. But I don't know. There are obvious use cases for it, especially as a developer at my job. Like when you want to just have a simple like script or have a question on like new frameworks and how to, how does what's the difference if I'm doing this in .NET, framework 4 versus .NET Core, and it'll just like tell me the difference. I'm like, wow, if I had to Google that specific thing, it would have taken me way, way longer.
I feel the problem and the disconnect with AI is always the hype people. They're trying to tell me it will do things it just cannot do. The thought of it replacing or enhancing a level 1 basic technician and making them level 3 is not a reality. But taking someone who already knows how to code, taking a level 3 technician and handing them this as a tool, it makes them substantially more efficient, because me or you, we know when AI is bullshitting us. We know when it just comes up with some unhinged answer that I'm like, that isn't, why'd you even say that? And I'll just say regenerate and it fixes it. Because we already know, and you're already a developer, when it's wrong. I don't like the overhype, because this is where I've never seen it actually do this of, oh, you can take someone who knows nothing, some rando person, and they'll have a completely built out, amazing framework that's optimized and efficient and a whole code base written. No, they won't.
Yeah.
It's like going to have a very buggy, broken thing that some level 3 developers going, who wrote this spaghetti?
It's like I haven't seen them in a while, but there was a time where I was getting so many like TikToks, Instagram Reels, whatever your platform of choice is for brain rot. But I was getting so many of these like, this AI can create an entire website just from you telling it. And it was like, give me a website that tells the time somewhere, like some random thing, and they typed it in, and through magic of editing, this AI just generated a website for them with the code. I'm like, I don't believe you. And if it does do that, I guarantee you it only does the most basic, like, give me a button that does this, and that's it. But they're like hyping it up as like, you don't even need to be a developer. You can just tell it what kind of website you want and it'll build it from scratch. I'm like, as someone who has built websites, it will not.
It will not.
I can guarantee you that.
Nope.
There are way too many nuances for it to do all of that. Will it get there?
But on the other side, as someone who's built websites, using this tool to say, hey, I don't know why, but fix the way these boxes are wrapping wrong in the CSS, it'll probably fix that and you'll use it and find it more efficient. So, because you're like, I know I could stare at this and figure out what I typed wrong. But
if you're in the weeds doing like CSS, JavaScript, HTML, I would, and some of the stuff we support is just like that ground level stuff. If I just had like an AI tool that was like a almost like Copilot thing where it just sat there and was like, hey, dumbass, your CSS isn't lining up. Do you want me to fix that? Like, yes, please. I hate dealing with CSS and like front end stuff. I can't do it. It immediately infuriates me.
I did a video on Nmap, and it's Nmap exported to XML and then using a tool that converts XML to pretty HTML. It's just like little, you can just pipe the script through, and I was showing people how to build inventories and have nice inventories. You can attach a CSS to it because it has a built-in one, but it's obviously ugly and it's built by a developer who wrote command line tools. So it looks like that. So all I did was I fed really quickly what the default CSS looks like. I said, make this like modern. All it did was it created a CSS template that I attached, threw it into the video, and made a modern looking output that took me all of like 30 seconds of typing in ChatGPT to make it work. Like those are really useful features for it. I think that's great.
Have you seen what Copilot can do in editing a video? It's legit effing crazy.
I have.
So Copilot's the Microsoft. That's the Microsoft one, right?
Yeah.
So what editing, like video editing in a Microsoft application, like, because surely it doesn't hook into like Premiere or anything. That'd be nuts. And Adobe has their own AI stuff.
Yeah.
So.
What's really cool is, have you played with Google's AI Studio?
Mm-mm.
So you go to Google AI Studio and they got this new thing called Stream, and it's really kind of freaky. You do a share screen, just like how we would share a screen, like we're using StreamYard here. It's the same type of menu. You share it and then it can see the screen, and you turn on auto responses with voice, and then you talk to it. And you can be in DaVinci Resolve, for example. And I tested this out because I didn't know how to do something in DaVinci. I was like, what's on my screen? It says, you appear to be running the DaVinci Resolve editor. I said, are you familiar with it? It said, yes. I said, how do I do this transparency thing? And it walked me through, go down to the bottom corner. Now click here and it sees your mouse. And I said here and it says over more. And you move the mouse over more. I'm like, oh, I wish it didn't have a way to take control, but it knew each command and walked me through the steps, walked me through how to find the elements and drag them onto the screen. It says, now drag this to your timeline. It will, if you pull up an Excel spreadsheet, it will walk you through writing the formulas. You say, can you see the spreadsheet? And it says, yes, like I have the data in these tables. I like to eliminate this or change it to this. It'll walk you through building the Excel formulas.
Yes. So it's asking me, like, I assume you have to subscribe to like their Gemini, some type of subscription, right?
It's free. If you have just a Gmail account, it's free.
Oh,
it's really weird. I think they charge if you have a Google Suite account, but if you're logged into your Gmail account, you can use it for free. I use my personal Gmail for free, and it was just fun to play with.
So there's, what'd you say? It's Stream Real Time. Is that the thing you're talking about?
It says it was called to me. Let me pull up the.
I wonder if it'll let me. Okay, hold on. Let's see.
Yeah, if it can stream and include it in
here. Yeah, because I have a second webcam right here.
Oh yeah, if you point it at a camera and you say describe you, and it says,
I'm scared, dude. Is it gonna roast me?
It roasted me. I don't know. I felt roasted.
Bald ass dude, gray beard looking ass.
Yeah, I told it to estimate my age, and it thought I was older than I was, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, come on. Okay.
Thanks, AI.
Talk to
Show Gemini.
Okay.
Share your screen will actually do a screen share. Yeah, you allow.
I'm hoping it doesn't. Okay.
Hey, we're doing it live, man.
Okay, how do I tell it which webcam though?
I don't remember.
I wonder if that's a.
I think you click up on the camera. We're in the.
Down here.
Nope.
Oh,
maybe there, at the top though, in a bar.
Right here. Yeah.
That's I think you can choose which camera.
Let's do the built-in one. Is this it? Only one way to find out. Didn't update. To refresh.
Yeah, try that. Reload it and try it again.
Hey, oh, there you go. Okay. So, can I talk to it?
Yeah, I think so.
Test. Hello. How do I?
Oh, maybe it's doesn't like sharing the microphone.
I wonder if the microphone I'm using is
in use.
Yeah, let me see.
If not, you can type and ask questions.
Yeah, it should be using the one on my headset, which isn't the one I'm using here. So it should be working. Maybe I'll just use the built-in one. Let's see. Would that not be this? Test.
I think I reload again.
Test. Oh, there we go. Looks like, yeah, it's listening. Yeah. Okay, Gemini, what are you looking at?
We can't hear it, but.
Does he look like somebody that would be wildly successful on YouTube? Yeah.
I started playing with this. Like it's silly, but it's fun.
A friendly demeanor. Well, thank you for that. Those are some very kind words. Not today.
I wonder if you share that screen, there's a way to get the audio to come through.
So, okay, stop. That's nuts.
It's if you share the screen and it can see what your screen's doing and then tell you what to do. I turn on, like, there's an options on the bar over there for like auto replies. So you have a natural conversation. It's a really patient tutor is how I look at it.
Let me see if it can just understand. I'm sure it does. See, let me try this. I wonder if let's see if this works. I'll get back here, and then I have to move it out of the way.
Someone has called you Timu Tim.
Timu? That would have been hilarious if that's what the AI said. Yeah, you look like Timu Tim. How do I let's see. Stream. How do I tell it to look at the
This is share screen option.
I know I'm trying to find it now that I'm just gonna refresh. Okay, there we go. Share your screen. Let's do entire screen. I wonder if it's gonna kick off.
Wendell from Wish.
Yeah, what does it look like it's doing? It looks like one of the GPUs is using a lot of RAM. Okay, thanks.
So only trying to figure out why we can't get the audio to come through.
Oh, y'all can't hear the audio?
Yeah, we can't hear the audio. That's why.
Oh, dude, I'm not talking. Okay, so y'all can't hear this. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Let me see if I can get the. Okay, stop talking. Y'all can't hear him. He keeps replying to what I'm saying. Let's see. How do I get that audio to come through here? I would have to do audio. I don't know how to do that on here.
I'm not sure either. That part is I don't. I feel like when StreamYard shares a screen, or are you sharing a full window? Or
I'm sharing a full screen.
If you hit stop on the share in StreamYard, but then present that particular Chrome tab, it'll pull the audio from a Chrome tab. It can't pull the audio from the screen, but it can pull the audio from a Chrome tab.
Okay, let me try that. Let's see. Present.
Yeah, ask the AI how to do it.
Yeah. Share screen in a specific Chrome tab. So let's try that. This guy. But then you can't see. Okay, well, whatever. I want to see if y'all can hear it at least. So I can still see the thing, right? You can still see. Okay.
So show Gemini.
Damn it! No, not that.
We got audio though.
Oh, you heard it? Okay.
Yep. And we see a small window of what you're showing it. So
yeah. Okay, Gemini, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen. It appears to be displaying the output of the NVIDIA SMI command.
Yep, you nailed it.
I'm glad I could accurately describe what was on your screen. Anything else you would like to discuss about it?
Yeah, why? So I'm running an AI instance on here, and it looks like it's not using all of my GPUs.
Okay, it looks like you're running an AI instance, but not fully utilizing your GPUs. Is there anything you would like me to do to assist with this?
No, I'm running Ollama. So I assume Ollama and Docker can leverage multiple GPUs?
Okay, so you're running Ollama, and you're wondering if Ollama and Docker can leverage multiple GPUs. Is that correct?
Yes. Can you tell me that?
Yes, I can try to tell you that. Ollama, by default, uses only one GPU. However, it can be configured to use multiple GPUs using Docker and some specific settings. Would you like more details on how to do this?
Yeah, how would I do that with Docker Compose?
Okay, to use multiple GPUs with Olama and Docker Compose, you'll need to configure your Docker Compose file to utilize the NVIDIA Container Toolkit. Do you want me to guide you through the specific steps for that?
No, I'm too lazy for all that.
Understood, it can be a bit tedious to configure. Change your mind later. Feel free to ask, and I'll be happy to help.
Okay, let's do something else. That was
It's kind of neat though.
yeah. But then I
All right,
realized I'm
it
not
sounds-
even. Oh, God damn it! But then I realized I'm not even like showing like anything on. Like, I wonder if I play like a game, will it be like, bro, guy to your left?
That
Have
would
you
be
tried,
interesting
like-
too. Yeah.
Let me see if I just want to pull up a game just to see if it would do that, because that would be nuts.
Make me a better
Dude, this is,
Mario
I didn't
player.
even know about this.
Yeah, I started playing with it last week, maybe, and I'm like, whoa. And I was like, what does it know? Because I seen someone talk about it being able to help you with spreadsheets. I'm like, what does it do? Cool things? Like, can it help me with Docker? Can it help you with this? And it turns out, yes. It was able to walk me through some DaVinci stuff, and that's the part I said, whoa, because I'm not a video editor. I'm just someone who does enough video editing to get my YouTube videos done.
Well, it's one of those things that like you were saying, a lot of AI stuff over promises and like under delivers. So when you see something that actually works, that
Yeah.
it's like it's supposed to be doing, then
And
it's
I feel like
whoa.
it's the right balance, because it's just looking at the screen. It's not trying to magic everything for you, because you generally know what you want to do. You're like, how do I do this transparency in this video? And
Yeah.
then it tells you, and you're like, oh, that's good steps. That's what I needed.
Yeah, I want to see if it just understands that I'm playing a game. Let's see what happens when I do this. We'll just fire up The Witcher 3 and see if it like. Yeah, you're on this quest. Like, there's no way it can do stuff like that, right?
Does it
Surely.
know The Witcher? That's the question. They did. So the AIs are trained on YouTube content, and there's certainly plenty of people who played The Witcher.
Yeah, I'm about to find out. Where's my tab? Where'd it go? Okay, let's see. Do this. I guess I'd have to share the whole screen. Let's see. Or can I just share? I'm just going to share the whole screen. Let's do.
Okay, I understand. You're going to share your whole screen. Let me know if
Yeah.
you need anything else.
Yeah, hold on, bro. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes, I can see your screen now. It's displaying a photosensitivity warning. Is there anything specific you would like me to do or see?
I'm trying to beat The Witcher 3. Can you help me with that?
Okay, I see the main menu for The Witcher 3. I can assist you. Do you have any specific areas you're struggling with? Or would you
I'm
like
just
general
bad
tips?
at games, dude. I'm old. I'm borderline boomer. I just need to beat the game.
Okay, I see the cutscene from The Witcher 3, and I understand you're trying to beat the game. It sounds like you might be finding it challenging. Is there anything specific I can help you with, like a particular quest or boss you're stuck on?
Can you see the current quest I'm on?
Yes, I can see the current quest. It's called Get Junior, and the objectives are to find Horson Jr.'s hideout, visit Horson Jr.'s arena, and find Horson Jr.'s casino.
Where should I go?
Based on the Get Junior quest, you need to find Horson Jr.'s hideout, arena, and casino. You can explore the map and look for those locations. Do you see any markers on your map that might indicate where those are located?
I'm standing on something, but it doesn't look like where I should be.
Okay, I see you're standing near a signpost and a broken wooden structure. The signpost has directions for Drunkard's Edge and Caravan Bar. Based on your current quest, Get Junior, these locations don't seem to be the primary destinations. It would probably be more helpful to consult your in-game map for locations related to the Get Junior quest, like Horson Jr.'s hideout, arena, or casino.
So
Would
limited.
you like
help
me to
here.
take a look at that map?
No, I'm good. Thank you. Dude, this is crazy.
I was playing with this, and I don't know if I wasted time or had fun. I can't tell. I enjoyed it, so we'll chalk it up as fun time. I definitely play with this a lot, and I was impressed by it. But occasionally it would just give me the wrong answer for things that kind of annoy me. So it does have some of the normal AI flaws, but in the big picture, it actually helped quite a bit. Like for especially the DaVinci stuff, it certainly knew some stuff there. And I'm not someone who can just whip up a good Excel formula and sort a bunch of data that's, you know, messy. It does a great job of that. It seems to know that really well.
Well, this is like this. I think this is what, you know, Clippy was supposed to be, right? Like
Yeah.
this is the actual assistant that's looking at your screen in real time and providing like personalized custom feedback. And I feel like that is what people want AI to be, because it comes in handy so many times where you don't even know what question you should be asking. And that comes up a lot when I'm editing. When I was learning DaVinci, I was like, I know what I'm trying to do, but I don't know the right words to like Google it or even ask AI.
Right.
So it's like, hey, if you're looking at my screen, how do I do this? Like, how do I drag this to, how do I put this here? You can't Google, how do I put this here? Like,
Right.
so this is
Yeah, and
impressive.
it does seem to understand it. Like I want to take something from the media window, and this is how I want to do it. And it, like I said, I that's the part that really I've played with it a couple times for that, and it's clever. Excuse me, it's clever.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to like try this next time I'm editing. I'm just gonna have it open on the second monitor and just see how impressive it is with DaVinci. Is there certain things, yeah, that I could improve or that I run into, and there's certain issues I have all the time that I'm like, it's too much work to Google it. I'll just keep doing it like this. This is crazy. I didn't even know this was a thing.
Yeah,
It's nuts.
because
Yeah.
I'm using the I have API keys for Google. I have API keys for ChatGPT that I play with, you know, through Fabric, and I'm going back to setting up a local one as well. But it, you know, there's things that just it does really well. There's also stupid. I was fighting with it yesterday. So I did that interview with Todd from Quad 9. Video's like 30 minutes, 36 minutes long or something like that. And I told it to, I grabbed the transcription from YouTube, dropped, oh, I think I know, I grabbed the transcription out of DaVinci, dropped it in there to make all the bullet points. You can pull an SRT file, so it's got all the timestamps in out of DaVinci. You can throw that SRT file right into ChatGPT, and you can say, build all the timestamps for this video, and it builds the timestamps for your YouTube video that you can just drop in the video.
That's nice.
Except, and this it does this on a whim. The video is 38 minutes long. The timestamps go to 3 hours or 2 hours or sometimes 7 minutes. It does. And I say, please. And all I have to do to fix this is tell it the length of the video, although it knows it. I said, the video is 38 minutes and 44 seconds long. Please complete this so it matches the video, and it fixes it every time. But it's those are the annoyances of AI, like those flaws. And this is ChatGPT 4, the paid version. And yeah. That's the parts that aggravate me. Like sometimes it just says crazy shit. It's like,
I feel like, yeah, AI's it's one of those things where when it's working super well, and when you have tools like this, it's almost like human like. It's like, how is this even? It's almost like you're talking to a really smart person, and then all of a sudden it'll do stupid shit like you were saying, and you're like, okay, this now it feels more like a tool, like a something with flaws. Because yeah, I use it a lot at work, especially when I'm doing SQL stuff, because I hate writing SQL. So I'll be like, here's my shitty SQL code. Can you optimize it?
Oh yeah, it's great for that.
it when it works, it's awesome. And usually it works pretty well, but sometimes it'll spit out something. And I'm like, immediately looking at it, I'm like, you omitted an entire like join table that I was using. Like it's not even in here anymore. So, and I'm like, hey, I don't see the like blah, blah, blah table in here. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry. And then it'll spit out the same query. So you have to like completely erase it and start over again.
Yep.
So, but yeah, when it works, man, it's so useful. Like it's nuts. Like I'm in the camp, like I was saying, I don't love it or hate it.
Yeah.
I see it as a tool.
I recognize its limitations.
Yeah. And manage expectations. Because they're putting freaking AI on everything now, and like everyone's phone has AI now. And I tried Apple ones for a while, but it didn't. I don't really have any use for it. Like I guess everyone has different use cases for AI.
Yeah.
But they show all these things like, oh, it'll summarize your text messages. It'll call and get you a reservation. It'll plan you a trip. I'm like, who is using it for that? Who needs their text messages summarized? Like, who needs a reservation called for them? Who is asking AI to plan them a trip? Like, I'm not going to like, oh, plan me a trip to Germany. Okay, cool. Book those flights. Like, I don't.
So head over to, because you got to pull this up, because this is what you brought up, Apple Intelligence, and we got to share this with the audience. It's Reddit r/Apple Intelligence fail.
Oh, is it? Oh, I thought you were going to get on about the commercials. But what is it?
I put the link in the private chat. Just click it.
Okay. Let me see. Where'd it go? How do I see it? In StreamYard?
StreamYard private chat, yeah.
Oh, there it is. Okay. It's just a subreddit.
Yeah. But just show all the images in it and laugh. Throw them on the screen.
Let's see. Let me remove this. How do I stop screen? Let's do this. There we go.
I like that people want to replace the voice in the AI with your voice.
Dude, you don't want that.
5 to 10 people at your front door. Yeah. No one cares. Relationship going well. Like, you're right. It does. But it makes fun summaries.
Yeah. I think I've seen some funny stuff for sure. Unable to find exact word. Shared screenshot and requested to show toilet pen. Like, it's just it's what is this? This isn't even. That seems normal. See how your music performed. Your partner was hit by a car. I mean, if that's what really happened, then there you go. There's your summary, I guess. Sorry, I was very drunk, went home and crashed. Drunk and crashed. Oh shit, yeah. That's a rough one. No, but it's things like that. Like, outside of them being funny, it's like, I know Apple didn't create it for it to be funny. Yeah, like, and even the commercials are weird, right? Like, they advertise it as this thing to like be a shitty person, but AI will help you not be a shitty person. Like, go watch all their AI commercials. Like, one of them's like,
they're bad.
Yeah, like someone's saying hi, and it's like, shit, I don't know who that is. Who is this? And it's like, oh, that's so and so. You met them a week ago, and they're like, oh, hey, so and so. I completely don't give a shit about you, but my AI remembered who you are. And there was one, like, it was their anniversary, and the wife forgot to get a present. And she's like, I forgot to get a gift, do something. And it made like a shitty photo montage. And she's like, here you go, happy anniversary. And it's like, really?
And Google's not any better. Weird. I have the Google phone. I bought the 9, and it had the AI stuff, and I played with it. And I played with it for a couple days after I got the phone, and I stopped playing with it because it doesn't do anything I want it to do. It has so many restrictions that drive me bonkers, because it was like, we have AI image generation. Yeah, but I can't generate anything fun. So it's immediately boring.
I'm trying to think of what I would like if I had the perfect AI companion on my phone. What would I even use it for? Like, I get the one that has been kind of popular. I don't know if Apple's does it yet, but I know Google's does, where like you can take a picture and say like, what is this?
Yeah.
Which I guess that one would be kind of useful.
You would think, until you've used it, you're like, well, it clearly does not know what it's looking at.
One I was, I guess it's an AI feature that Google has where you can take a picture of a group and it'll take everyone's, like, if someone's like blinking in one and someone's like,
it'll take the best shot. That works. That actually does work. So if you have a group photo and you take a few of them, it can combine them to the one where everyone has their eyes open. So that's a cool feature.
Yeah, and Apple's so far behind. They're like, oh, we can summarize text messages. Like, that's pretty cool, right, guys? Right? Like, it does nothing. Like, nothing that I have even
My text
found
messages
useful at
are no
all.
one. Well, I can't say no one. Occasionally, my wife will write a long message, but that's in anger, and it shouldn't be summarized. I should probably read it.
But like text messages aren't.
They're
I can
generally
read a
short.
text message.
Yeah.
Like I need like long meeting notes summarized and
Yeah.
like articles or something summarized. I don't need text messages. I can open it up and read my text like that.
Now
That's just
we
not a-
use. I haven't. It's not bad. Google's got a recording app on the phone that works reasonably well for that, and because it
Mhm.
identifies all the speakers, you can set your phone on record in the middle of a table, and it does do a good job of summarizing and indexing the conversation. Where I've actually been blown away is we pay for a tool called Fireflies we use in our meetings. That's scary good because it creates to-do lists at the end of the meeting. It'll say, in this meeting, Tom said he was going to get back with you on these systems. He's going to set up the backup for XCP&G. He's going to do this for you. It's like we do it with our customer meetings, and it summarizes each of our essentially action items, and it makes a really nice agenda and a next follow-up because when you follow up with the same people in the next meeting, it'll pull up your previous meeting's agenda and bring it forward with you. It's so some of the paid ones I think are pretty good for that, but I haven't seen anything on the phone that made me go, wow. The Google Summarizer one's cool. Oh, actually, the call conversation summarizing is pretty good. You can get on the call with someone and it records and then creates a summary of your phone call.
Nice. I know a lot of people are thinking, I am not letting that listen in on my. I'm like, but dude, if they wanted to listen in on your phone call already, if Google really wanted to, like, you're not stopping them.
And I'm using it almost always for business conversations. It tells them the recording, and I'm like, yeah, it's just so I can memorize when. You know how business meetings go. There's sometimes too many people in there and it went too long and I zoned out through part of it. I'm so happy the AI was in there. So it helped me go, oh yeah, that was right. We did talk about that. And then the person went into an anecdote for 20 minutes.
Yeah. I think like the big AI tools that have like that can do actual like useful actions, I think are the ones that are big. Like I don't need so many things that are like summaries or consolidating things or like the AI tool we're just looking at, something that I can actually use that helps me accomplish a task. And like you were saying at the end of a call, it creates those to-do lists, something that
everything I promised to do in this call for the last hour.
Yeah, like something that has like can create an actionable task like that's helping me out. Like I don't know. I guess everyone finds certain things useful. Like something that AI can do that one person might find useful isn't what another person could. Like
having
the biggest thing, it wasn't even
AI, that's useful.
What is?
Spammers talking to AI is useful.
Oh my God, dude. That would be fantastic. I get so many freaking spam calls these days. It's obnoxious.
I feel like it was Virgin Mobile, one of the big phone companies. They started building these grandma bots that uses an old lady's voice, and what they do is it's an AI system program. So when a scammer calls it, it leads the scammer on the most intricate, them walking them through like how to put in Apple cards or how to give bank numbers. It just gives false information forever talking to the scammer.
It's just Kitbaga. What's his name? The YouTuber?
No, it's not the
YouTuber.
YouTuber.
His video? Oh no, I was just saying that's like basically what he does.
Yeah.
Have you watched his videos?
I've seen some of them do it. What was the one? Pierogi. I've watched some of his.
Okay. Yeah,
same thing.
He does. He has his voice changers and all his characters and big ones like the grandma.
Yep.
And dear God, dude, it gets.
But someone built an automated AI, and when a scammer calls, it's just an old lady that just keeps them. It strings them along forever.
Dude, if they could have like, I would dedicate hardware in my home lab for that. If they want to use that to deploy a server.
I wonder how hard that would be to set up a number, have it call in, have a VoIP line in there, and have an AI just talk to it. I
want it to record all the conversations and everything. Like, oh my God, that would be hilarious.
And then what you can do is, after you collect a bunch of these, you can then use the AI, say, only give me the angry parts of the call.
Yeah.
Not the part where he was calm and rational for 30 minutes
Uh-huh.
while the AI strung him along. The part where he lost his mind.
Yeah.
Skip right
like
to the fun.
all the stuff Apple's doing, like that's what I want. That's what I want. That's a feature I want.
Yeah.
Apple's like, yeah, we have a spam call time wasting feature added in the next update. I'd be like, I am using that every single day because God, I get so many. It's obnoxious. Yeah, like there are useful uses for AI. I mean, I don't think anyone's
Wasting
denying
spammers
that.
time
It's
sounds
just
like an absolutely amazing use of the time.
it's just we're so flooded with just crap AI stuff now. It's
Yeah,
it's
I
getting
don't need it in my
obnoxious.
toaster. I don't need it in my refrigerator. I want it
Yeah.
to waste the spammers time, and then I'll be happy.
Yeah, what's his name just did a video about all the stupid AI stuff and products. Basically homeless. Is that his YouTube channel? The guy just makes like ridiculous like coding shit and like just building stuff. He made like a toilet or a computer inside his toilet a while ago. But yeah, he bought all those like AI hand warmer, AI toaster, AI, all this stuff. And it was basically the consensus was like, this is absolutely insane what companies are doing.
That's
Like,
great.
it doesn't make sense.
I want
but-
my AI. I like the comment here. I want my AI toaster to take scammer calls.
Shit. Put it all in there, dude.
That's the future I want.
Yeah. You have one AI assistant that can do it all for you.
Mhm.
But yeah, let's see. What time is it? Like
Oh,
10 more minutes. And I'm at my
Okay,
2
yeah.
hour.
See, yep.
Yeah. Start wrapping up. Let's see what people are talking about here. Have you deployed Ollama and OpenWeb UI on your home lab yet? Man, you
That was about 20,
You just
30
missed
minutes.
it.
Maybe 30 minutes ago now.
yeah, you just missed it, dude. There yep, there it is right there. It works great. I love it.
Yep.
It what was I using? I was using something else with Ollama before. I even have it deployed on my M4 Mac Mini, and it works great. I did a video on the Mac Mini, and that's one of the things I set up on there was Ollama and OpenWeb UI. It works fantastic. I mean, I'm sure there's
I've
other
thought about picking
solutions.
one up just for that because it's a good piece of hardware to run it on. It's well supported. It's fast. It's reasonably priced.
Yeah, people would love to hate on Apple stuff. Like, I get years and years ago when they were like, you pay a shit ton of money and don't get the performance of other machines. But since they switched to their own silicon, it's been they're hard to beat.
I'm a Linux nerd and Linux laptop person, lots of Lenovo's and, even back in the day, IBM's. But right now, one of the reasons I have my MacBook Air, I can't tell you for the price value proposition what to buy in the x86 world that matches my MacBook Air. My MacBook Air has amazing battery life, plenty of power, and price wise, it's cheaper. I mean, I really want a framework, but it feels like an indulgence because to buy a framework laptop is going to be more money for something that doesn't have the same battery life or performance I'm getting out of my MacBook Air. And it's tough.
I mean, I have a 16-inch framework. So I have I have my Dell XPS 13 that's running Linux. I have my framework. I have my main MacBook M1 Pro. That's my main daily driver. And I have a Surface, the ARM Surface. The MacBook is by far leaps and bounds better than every other machine. The XPS, I'd say second, the framework, and then the ARM Surface is a piece of shit. Like, I hate that thing. It's just so buggy and quirky, and it's garbage, dude. And I don't understand. Like, I did a video. I'm like, this thing kind of sucks. Like, I get the specs are cool and the hype is amazing, and it's ARM, and they're kind of, bringing Windows on ARM back from the dead. But it's just, if you're actually using it and you're not just watching some dude read off specs of it and try it out for 30 minutes and make a review on it, if you want someone's opinion that actually uses it, it sucks ass. Like, it does certain things well, but like, it'll run into so many apps that are just don't work or they're just off, like Discord. Discord's not usable on it. Parsec doesn't work on it. Certain apps just suck.
Yeah. Versus my experience on my MacBook Air, man, just, I sit in my studio too much, and I'm in a basement. So there's a window here, but it's, egress window. It's not really in light. I got a nice upstairs. I'll go up there. I sit on my MacBook Air. I'll sit for 2 hours, just, typing up emails, replying to people, messaging on Slack and all the things, kind of business related things. And I'm like, oh, look, it used like 5% of the battery. It's like, it didn't get hot. It didn't burn my lap. It just works. And I have an older one. I don't have the newest MacBook Air, and it's like amazing that it's held up. It's like 4 years old or 5 years old now, and it still works.
Yeah. I mean, I prioritize the two biggest things I prioritize on a laptop are battery life and, like quiet, like noise / it's not going to burn my crotch off when I'm using it. And the Mac, like I still use the M1 Pro Mac, like the M1, the first M version chip, Pro MacBook Pro. And I'm a kind of guy who's like, yo, when they come out with something new, I'm gonna upgrade. And even still, they're on M4 right now, and I'm like, I'm fine with my M1 MacBook. They said Wonder Sausage says he got the Asus 16-inch ARM OLED for $500. Yeah, they were aggressive on launch with those prices on those Windows ARM Snapdragon laptops. And the battery life is solid. And if you're just using it to like consume media, they're perfectly fine. But like you'll just run into just apps that aren't supported. And it probably is very similar to my Linux challenge video where it was like, it works for certain things, but when you run into those apps that you need and don't work, it just ruins it. Like, sorry, but that's just how it is. So, okay, well, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up. I can hear my baby screaming downstairs, so that's going to be a fun one to run into. But Tom, I appreciate you hopping on with me on such short notice.
Yeah,
I was like, man, I wanted to stream, and Tom was like, hey, let's stream. I was like, all right, it's the only motivation I need.
Yeah.
So it was fun.
I had an hour and a half on mine, 2 hours in here, so I'm good. I got my 3 hours of Thursday streaming in.
I know, right, dude? That's I don't know how streamers get on and do like 8 hour like actual streamers.
Yeah, so they're especially some are pretty intense. Like some of the gamers are. So
and you gotta be like on like for 12 hours straight. Like after about 2, I'm kind of like winding down a bit, kind of like ready to pack it up. That's rough, dude.
We're getting old. It's a young man's game.
I know, dude. It is a young man's game. Well, all right, everyone. I appreciate you all hanging out. Obviously, go check out Tom's channel. Everyone here, you know who Tom is. You probably subscribe, but go check him out. I'll try to do more of these consistently. My schedule should be a bit less hectic in a couple of months, so we'll get back to probably some more consistent streams. But this was fun. I appreciate everyone joining, and join Discord, subscribe to the channel, all that good YouTube stuff. I'll see y'all next time.
Yep. Pirate Software. I was waiting for someone to bring that guy up. That dude streams for like 12 hours.
Yeah, I see him live all the time.
Yeah,
it's nuts.
He lives doing that. I was waiting. I was like, there was a one streamer, Pirate Software, dude. That guy's wild.
Nonstop.
Yep. All right. Later.
See y'all later.